Hi there, good Sunday evening. Here from the Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show. Wearing my Blue Jay hat as they've now won 2 in a row. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Anyways, we're here to do the new Prog album. So we moved this show to Sunday night so I'd have more time. Today was a little bit tough only because I was out most of the day doing some stuff. And just got back a few hours ago. I was kind of tired, so I kind of relaxed for a bit. And then the song or the album that I was going to do, after listening to it for a bit, I decided that it didn't belong on this episode. And we're going to move it to What's New instead. It's more of a metal album, I think, than it is a prog album. And so we're going to do, I'm actually may have flipped the albums backwards, the last two. So that's a possibility. So I decided to move it away. I didn't think of it as being much of a prog album. And I went with my backup album, which was Singlelito. In the absence of Velocity. This is I believe a Spanish, or at least a Latin album, prog album, that is. So this was released April 6th, 26. It's about 36, almost 37 minutes in length on the Amarxi label, produced by Juan Pinto. So appearing in this band is pretty much it's Juan Pinto's band. He plays drums, vocals, keys, bass on all 4 but 1 track, and guitar. Esteban Aparicio on trumpet on track number 4. Luis Uzi on bass on track number 5. Ricardo Santiago on lead guitar on number 5. Irner Navarro on lead guitar. Ivan Insignaris on lead keyboards on 5, both of them. And Angie Bula on vocals on 5 as well. So only 5 tracks on the album. I found it was a decent album. Most of the stuff passed. I didn't really care much for the opening track. So for me, this is a kind of a, they call it an electronic prog, but to be honest with you, there is some electronic stuff on it, but I don't really think of it as electronic prog. To me, it's a kind of jazzy, kind of free-flowing, progressive album, maybe a little bit of jazz fusion here, lots of the good musicianship. I knew I'd get it out. Some interesting stuff. The drums are very strong on this album. I think his guitar and his keyboards throughout are quite good too. So he's an excellent musician. Lots of good stuff here, but I found there'd be a bit more of a jazzy feel to a lot of the tracks. Vocals at times are quite clear, quite good. Other times seem to be a little bit out of tune. That's just my opinion. Feels like they're out of tune anyways. Yeah, so it wasn't as good as I initially thought it would be when I listened to it the first time. So this is, and it's got some a little bit on the quirky titles. They're a little bit longer. So we have low-level depictions of uncensored kinetic works. That's the opening track title. Should tell you all you need to know, right? It's about 9.5 minutes in length. This song has some mid-vocals, a bit of that out-of-sorts sound that I was talking about. The backing vocal parts are noise-like, like that skoo-wop type stuff that you hear from some of this other jazzy stuff. The guitar is very forward, quite loud, actually. This track, of course, has a little bit of not a little bit. I think it's quite a lot of a feel to this track of some jazz going on. The rhythm section is quite jazzy. It's a fast-paced electronic feel at times as well. Some slower electronic feel at times as well. A bit of a scattery kind of musicality. and the vocals are a little bit more noise-like at times than they are actually vocals. I didn't really care for this track. I failed it. I don't fail tracks very often, but this one I just didn't care for. Next up is the Handprints of Wealthy Settler. The titles get a little bit weird. So the vocals are out of tune again. Feels like they're out of tune anyways. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's just being critical of it. I'm not sure. But they're forward, clear, but definitely a mid-range sound to them. The drums, lots of fills throughout this track. The guitar part is very jazzy, very rhythm sounding. Becomes a bit more of a slow solo as it gains some momentum, very jazzy-like as well. The guitar also has a high-pitched strumming part. It's almost like he's stuck it right up in the mic and is hammering away at it. The solo part towards the end is very forward, along with the organ, which you will hear at the right towards the end of the song. Pretty decent. This is a pretty long track too, almost 8 3/4 minutes. Next track up is called Old People Sit Outside. Yeah, they do. So this is a mellow keyboard part to open, then a high-pitched vocal part to accompany it. They kind of seem out of sorts with each other a bit. The keys are quite electronic and very dominant sounding. Has a very strong and dominant keyboard part throughout, and then has some nice heavy jazz rhythm sections going on here as well. The vocal part, the voice I like, but it's in Spanish. The guitar part, solo, catchy, up-tempo, pretty heavy drum parts throughout this track as well. This was probably my favorite track on the album, though, I'll be quite honest with you. I think it was. Next is called Love Song, Letter, Poem, Anything for Ale. Yeah, another quirky title, eh? Some heavy guitar forward parts here. The vocals are more mid-range, forward, and clear. It's got a bit of a slow melodic guitar part as it goes on, and it does some picking and some rhythm at the same time, picking and some riffing at the same time. Wrong choice of words there. The drums are very heavy, very forward, and then you have some nice trumpet here. The solo was quite good. I thought it was excellent, very dominant on this particular track. The keyboard parts are dominating, going between the organ and just a plain keyboard part. Another song, I like this song too. And the final song, which is Fuente. It's got a nice distorted, dominant guitar opening. I actually kind of like it. It's kind of different. The vocals are both male and female here, and in Spanish. I believe it's Spanish. It's somewhat distorted at times. The song seems to be kind of mashy. I don't know if that makes any, where it's like they're trying to push a bunch of stuff together. And of course, it has a bit of a jazzy feel, so maybe like a skittle type thing going on here. Keyboard solo is strong, dominant, and the drum part again fast-paced, very forward. So it's a decent enough album. Much more jazzy than I had originally thought it was, and that's part of the reason why it didn't score as high with me as it did initially. But overall, not a bad album. If you like that kind of jazzy electronic sounds, lots of fast-paced guitar, keyboards, and some kind of different sounding vocals, you'll probably like this stuff. Anyways, that's my take on this album from Singlelito. In the Absence of Velocity is the name of the album. So please hit the like and subscribe. I'm just going to move this down slightly. It keeps moving up. So please hit the like and subscribe. If you want, you can put comments about the band or the album or ask questions or whatever you want to do. Anyways, hope to see you all next week for another episode of New Prog Album. So take care. Have yourself a good one. Goodbye.